The big story from the Genesis Invitational: Tiger Woods withdraws from the tournament because of an illness. Here's what he did in round 2 before calling it quits. After a birdie on 1, followed by back-to-back pars on 2 and 3. Now in the par 3 fourth, teeing off, pushes this one to the right. And Tiger none too pleased as it goes into the rough. 2 shots later, putting from just over 34 feet away to save par. And that is offline. He would knock that in for bogey, move to 1 over for the tournament. Now on 5, second shot here. 176 yards. And his approach shot landing well short of the green. Just didn't have it. Not feeling good, dealing with flu-like symptoms. Next shot, putting from beyond the green. And Tiger doesn't even get close. He would settle for another bogey. Moves to 2 over for the tournament. Making his first PGA Tour start of the year. He's never won this event. Now on 6. Teeing off here. And again, he pushes this one just past the green and into the rough. Just could not find it. Just didn't have it. It's as simple as that. Third shot here to save par. And Tiger gets this to go. Around and down, stays at 2 over. But a moment here after his first shot on the 7th, Tiger into a golf cart, withdraws from the tournament due to an illness. Again, dealing with flu-like symptoms. A representative for Tiger said he has been treated and is doing much better. Tiger was making his 16th start at the Genesis Invitational, his most starts in a PGA Tour event without a win. Now we wait to see what's next for Tiger, who said he hopes to play 1 tournament per month this year. Developing story out of golf. Tiger Woods has withdrawn from the Genesis Invitational because of an illness. He was able to finish 6 holes during the second round before heading back to the clubhouse in a golf cart. Tiger was making his first PGA Tour start of the year and playing in his first official PGA Tour event since the 2023 Masters. Tiger's longtime business partner and vice president of TGR Ventures, Rob McNamara, released a statement on behalf of Tiger saying, quote, "He started feeling some flu-like symptoms last night. Woke up this morning, they were worse than the previous night. Ultimately, the doctors are saying he's got potentially some type of flu and that he was dehydrated. He's been treated with an IV bag and he's doing much, much better," end quote. And for more, welcome in Sportsline data scientist and host of the First Cut podcast, Rick Gehman. Tiger withdraws due to an illness, the big story at the Genesis Invitational. Rick, did you get a sense during the round that something was wrong with Tiger?
Hindsight's always 20/20 here, Hakeem. You know, I had gotten some text that his warm-up on the driving range looked a little bit weak, and I thought maybe he was laboring a little bit, but that is what we've seen from Tiger Woods over the past couple of years. That wasn't anything out of the ordinary. So when I saw that Tiger had hopped into a golf cart with the rules official, I was just as shocked as anybody. And then obviously looking back, it makes sense and it aligns with that statement that you just read, that, you know, he started feeling ill last night. He was feeling maybe a little bit better during his warm up, but when he gets out on the golf course, he's dizzy and obviously not feeling like himself and needs an IV to kind of get replenished to get those fluids back. So hindsight is 20/20, but trust me, Hakeem, I was as shocked as anybody to see him actually withdraw from this event.
Yeah, he didn't have it. Yeah, he threw 6 holes. I mean, you could just see that he could not find the green. Shots are into the rough, just wayward tee shots. You know that Tiger's competitive drive is one thing that's helped him become the best to ever play the game. There's no question about that. But does this latest setback perhaps force him to rethink what he has left to play for?
It's an interesting question. I definitely think it forces him to rethink what the schedule moving forward looks like. You know, he wanted to play 1 competitive tournament every month in 2024. That's what he told us at the Hero World Challenge. And I don't think that 24 holes at Riviera was part of the game plan. Now, if it is, of course, just illness and he can get back to feeling better, that's a much better outcome than there being something more physical, something back-related or ankle-related that might force an even longer longer setback. So you look at the schedule moving forward, maybe there's an opportunity for him to play the Players' Championship. Maybe there's an opportunity for him to play at Bay Hill. Both of those, though, Hakeem, are back-to-back weeks, so you're not going to get both of those. It does create a situation where the rest of the schedule now for Tiger Woods, which was already limited, starts to look a little bit different, and I think he's going to have to sit down in the coming days and weeks and really figure out a new plan.
Rick, are you comfortable at some point here to tell Tiger it's time to hang it up? Because there are those, seriously, I mean, there are those out there. There are fans of golf. There are Tiger Woods fans that say, all right, this is enough, because every time he starts a tournament, are we going to get to see him finish the tournament? And I know, look, I'm not going to tell him to hang it up. And I'm not curious if you're going to tell him to, I'm sure not doing that. But, I mean, at some point, like, the injuries, the sickness, they just keep adding up.
They do. There's a couple of layers to unravel here. First off, what's great about this game is that we've seen guys play it into their 60s, 70s, and sometimes even 80s. That's what's great about golf. And I think that Tiger does have a lot of golf ahead of him, but what that golf looks like is PNC championships. It looks like maybe the Champions Tour when he turns 50 in a couple of years. The idea of him trying to play this high-level competitive golf on the PGA Tour, it has not been working, and it's not going to work. I would almost prefer to see him play the Bermuda Championship, the Puerto Rico Open. Go try to snap off that 83rd victory and sit alone the PGA Tour all-time wins list by yourself. Break the tie with Sam Snead. Go play golf courses that are easy on the body, because you're right, more often than not, he's been unable to finish 4 rounds in a tournament, whether that is through injury, whether it is through illness, or some variety of the two. The current state that he's playing in, not great. He should probably reconsider that, but I still think we're going to see him play a lot of golf moving forward. It's just not going to be the golf that we want to see him play.
Yeah, I continue to root for him to get that one more victory. Because it's been a privilege to watch Tiger Woods throughout his career. 15 major championships, 82 PGA Tour victories, and the sickness is the sickness. It's not like it's an injury or something that happened to his back or his neck or his foot or his leg that he's dealt with in the past. This is a sickness. Everybody gets sick. You move on. But obviously it raises questions. His last PGA Tour victory, by the way, came at the 2019 Zozo Championship. As Rick mentioned, 82 PGA Tour wins, tied for the most with Sam Snead. Meantime, Patrick Cantlay, chasing victory at Riviera, remains atop the leaderboard. He's got a 5-shot lead at the Genesis. On Friday, he started his round with an eagle at 1. Fantastic second shot on the green, capped off by a 14-footer for eagle. Had another fantastic shot on 15, led to a birdie. Same story on 17. Only 1 bogey through 2 rounds, Rick. I mean, and he said coming into the week he didn't have his A game. What have you seen from Patrick Cantlay?
Pretty good to not have his A game here, right? I would love to have this maybe B game or C game by those standards. I'm not sure what golf course Patrick Cantlay is playing, because it doesn't look like he's playing Riviera like everybody else. He has gone through, as you mentioned, Hakeem, 36 holes by making just 1 bogey. And what I loved is the way that he played his second 9 on Friday. Not only was it 3 under, but that's the stretch of this golf course that's playing much more difficult than the front 9. He got himself in a couple of positions of bother, having to hit some really creative, really committed shots out of rough, both greenside and on approach, and he pulled off everything. I mean, this was flawless. Now, 5 shots, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. It feels insurmountable. I believe the Justin Ray stat is like 5 shots with 36 to go converts 73% of the time. It feels like Patrick Cantlay is going to run away with this thing, but what we have on the PGA Tour is a lot of leaderboard gravity that happens every Saturday. It happens every Sunday. I think this lead is going to get smaller, but Patrick Cantlay has been nothing short of spectacular for the first 2 rounds.
All right, the other big storyline here after the second round of the Genesis Invitational is that Jordan Spieth has been disqualified for signing an incorrect scorecard. He signed a 3 and made a 4 on number 4. And Rick, we always ask the question, how does this happen when you sign an incorrect scorecard and you sign for the wrong score? How does this happen, especially a veteran like Jordan Spieth?
I'm actually not surprised to hear it's Jordan Spieth. He has a history of being kind of a sicko when it comes to his scorecard. We've heard stories of him having to go through all 18 holes in the scorer's tent with him and his playing partner because he wasn't writing it down during the round. I mean, he kind of has a history of being a little bit wonky when it comes to the scorecard. But I think it's 2024. We can probably get away from guys having to keep their own score, having to sign it, and having that signed version determine whether they're going to play in a tournament or continue in a tournament or not. Everybody knows where everybody's at. This is all digital. It's all happening live in front of us. There's really no question about what anybody's score is. But Hakeem, I am actually not surprised at all to hear if one guy signed their scorecard incorrect this week, that it's Jordan Spieth. What
are we doing? I mean, Rick, what are we doing? I mean, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Be a professional. Maybe it's an honest mistake. Give him get the benefit of the doubt, but what are we doing? Unfortunately, we have a WD from Tiger, and we have a disqualification in the same round. I mean, for people that want to get into golf right now, of course, there's plenty of drama with the PGA Tour and Live Golf. I mean, there's drama every week on tour. I mean, there's always something going on. And for now, Jordan Spieth is not going to be winning this event. Again, he has been disqualified for signing an incorrect scorecard. He signed for a 3, made a 4 on number 4. I made a 4 on number 4. Signed for 4 on number 4. Oh, come on, man. Come on, Jordan Spieth. All right, let's get your prediction going into the weekend, Rick. Who's your pick to win the Genesis Invitational?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Patrick Cantlay is a heavy favorite, but I'm looking for that leaderboard gravity at some point on Saturday. I like what Jason Day has been up to over his first 2 rounds. He got shot out of a cannon in round number 1. He started off well in round number 2, and he did make some bogeys, but he made his mistakes on the right holes, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but Riviera is a golf course where there's a lot of half pars. You know, you're going to make a lot of birdies. You're going to make a lot of bogeys. If you're making the bogeys on the difficult holes, that's fine. That's nothing to be concerned about. That's going to happen to everybody. Hasn't happened to Patrick Cantlay yet, but I think that's coming. So Jason Day lurking in the wings. He's been playing well for the last couple of weeks. When Cantlay does come back to the field, which I think is inevitable, Jason Day's been well-rounded enough and making enough birdies to, I think, give him a chance and a really good number right now because of how deep under par Patrick Cantlay is.
Jason Day, 5 shots off the lead, but remember our stat from Justin Ray. Players with a 5-shot lead on the PGA Tour over the last 20 years have converted 72% of the time. But you'll take it. You're going to take the other. You're going to go the other way. You're going to go contrarian here.
72% is a huge number and also not a huge number, right? I mean, yeah. A 5-shot lead feels insurmountable. I can't believe that 28% of the time that guy has not won the golf tournament. And we were racking our heads. You know, we've seen Russell Henley give up 5 shots in 9 holes. We've seen Justin Thomas come back from 7. John Rahm's come back from 5 or 6. I mean, it happens a lot more frequently than you would expect. And there's going to be a lot of world-class players trying to track down Patrick Cantlay on a world-class golf course that can get you out of position and get you uncomfortable very quickly. So I don't think this thing is over by any stretch of the imagination.
All right, going with Jason Day at plus 1,100 to have himself a day on Sunday at Riviera. Rick Gehman here on CBS Sports HQ. Rick, thanks. And you can watch it all go down. 3rd and 4th round coverage of the Genesis Invitational on CBS and streaming live on Paramount+. Coverage begins Saturday and Sunday, 3 Eastern time. We'll have post-round analysis right here on CBS Sports HQ.